Thurman Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk a little welterweights. Talking about welterweight champion, the only one with 2 belts, Keith, one-time Thurman. And you got to talk about the dude who everybody's scared of right now. Look like, at least after coming off that other win against Lamar Peterson, ERROL the Truth Spence. You know, people don't get the name the truth if they're not the truth. You know what I mean? ERROL Spence is the truth so far. You know, somebody gonna have to prove him wrong. He's the truth. He's got much truth going for him as Paul Pierce had. You know, the truth. That's an NBA player for those that don't know. Called him the truth too. And there was a reason why. Now, right now, your boy ERROL Spence is coming off a very one-sided win versus Lamar Peterson. And that's not easy to do. We were talking about Lamar Peterson, only time he was, knocked out or, dominated before was Lucas Matisse, and that can happen, right? So that can happen early. But this is a good fighter, and ERROL Spence did a good job against him. Great job against him. Dominating job against him. And that it followed that up, after beating Kell Brook. So he's a guy that nobody seems to be wanting to fight. You don't hear his name mentioned when you talk about welterweights, right? And so right now, ERROL Spence wants to fight Keith Thurman, of course. And Keith Thurman is getting a lot of flack right now because he won't say he's going to fight him like immediately or whatever. Because Keith Thurman has said that, be patient. He's told him, be patient. Your time is coming. That's not good enough for a lot of people. For me personally, it's good enough because of what Keith Thurman just came through. Keith Thurman, I think, our memories get short sometimes, but Keith Thurman just beat 2 undefeated studs. Now, I know Shawn Porter wasn't undefeated, but a lot of people would argue he did not lose that fight against Kell Brook. Right? That was his only blemish on his record. So, coming off beating him, and then Danny Garcia, who's undefeated, and ain't nobody else going to be beating Danny Garcia anytime soon. Right? Unless their name is ERROL Spence, probably. Right? So, Keith Thurman comes off of both win those 2 fights. And then he gets injured. So, he's out. Now, maybe you need to strip him if he don't fight. But he's about to come back and fight Jesse Vargas, who, didn't he hold the title? The title holder, WBO, for a minute there. Right? So, we're talking about, a quality opponent coming back after a long injury. And then I'm pretty sure, then he says he's not, ERROL Spence is not on his immediate to-do list. Because at that point, Shawn Porter is his mandatory. He has to get that out of his way. So, now, unification does supersede mandatories. Now, that's the truth. So what can happen is he can fight Jesse Vargas, come through that, maybe have one more fight, and probably get it done towards the end of the year. But he's not saying that right now, so we don't know what he's going to do. So his immediate plans is to fight Jesse Vargas and then fight Shawn Porter. So it's not like he's going on vacation. Right? Those are 2 formidable opponents. So I just think when you're talking about Keith Thurman right now ducking ERROL Spence, I don't think it's ducking. I think that he just has to do what he has to do. ERROL Spence needs to just focus and keep winning. Get a couple of bigger names. Lamar Peterson's pretty big. Kell Brook was pretty big. Well, it was bigger than Lamar Peterson, his title holder at the time. 1 or 2 more fights. In the meantime, keep busy. Right, but some of the times you hear him like Keith Thurman, and he's really he's ducking and he's not really worthy of a champion and stuff like that. And I'm not agreeing with that. I'm thinking I've seen other champions do some stuff that I really questionable things. Like we got Canelo and GGG, for example. GGG fought Triple G fought Johnny Jacobs, right, after having a 23 match knockout streak. That gets stopped. He didn't stop him, right? And a lot of people, half of the people didn't believe he beat him. But he does not have to even readdress that fight. He's gonna keep fighting easy Canelo from his perspective, right? Because so Canelo never had to clean out the 154-pound division, and he's the face of boxing. He's not even the best middleweight, but he's the face of boxing. He's always the A side on everything. We seem to want to see Canelo versus Golovkin instead of Golovkin versus Danny Jacobs. Readdress that. Nobody even cares about that. So it's things like that when you're looking at it. You're like, well, we don't want to be too hard on your boy. Canelo didn't have to fight Lara again. right? Didn't Andre didn't never fight. Neither one of the Charlo brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's a perspective on that on some of those things. Anthony Joshua didn't have to fight Deontay Wilder right away. We won't let that go until whenever, but at least he's fighting Joseph Parker. So I'm thinking, Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence will happen, needs to happen. But from a boxer's perspective, every time you fight, right, it's like who's next? There's someone coming up. So Keith Thurman, you can't hold no belts hostage. That's not what we're saying here, right? You cannot hold no belts hostage. But if he's coming back and fighting some quality opponents, give him 1 or 2 fights, then I'm pretty sure then we should probably be getting on him if he still don't want to be fighting Errol Spence. It's going to happen soon, but I think Spence is can handle your business, continue, and keep calling them out. Keep the pressure on. So it ain't nobody going to be forgetting, right? But it's a few things the dude has to do, when he comes back. And it's not Errol Spence immediately. First, you've got to test your elbow, first of all, before you get in there with Errol Spence. And another thing is, too, if the hardest guy in your division, it should be the most lucrative fight. Make sure that happens, too, from both of their perspective. They'll throw a fight together in the next months, and it's not huge. That fight in the welterweight division should be huge. If you look at it, because from both of their perspectives, who do they have that's more, has a bigger profile right now than Errol Spence and Keith Thurman in that welterweight division, right? Danny Garcia don't fight but once every decade. So those are pretty much the 2 guys right now that should bring the most money fighting each other. So I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at the end of the year too, but that would be if everything works out perfect for Keith Thurman. We don't know how he's going to react, how his body's going to react once he start hitting these guys again with that elbow. So, I was even hearing some of my favorite uploaders, wanting to boycott Keith Thurman. I was like, shoot, if you can boycott Keith Thurman for this behavior, then we're going to boycott like 50% of boxing. Because some people got way worse behavior than Keith Thurman has right about now. If you're looking at the welterweight division, let's be real. Who has called out Errol Spence? Only one who even said his name was Jeff Horn, right? You guys, we let Sean Porter get away with saying, hey, I don't even think I'm rated in the IBF rankings, so I don't really think I have to fight him. You're not ranked in the IBF rankings. You was the champion. You just lost to Kell Brook. But even if you're not ranked, everyone should be looking at Errol Spence as an opportunity, right? He's the baddest dude right now is what everyone's saying. So other welterweights should be, ooh, this is my opportunity to show I can deal with him. But it's the exact opposite. Sean Porter is going to be waiting around for Keith Thurman to have this fight with Jesse Vargas and then get with him whenever they can. Instead of saying, hey, you know what? In the meantime, Errol Spence seems to be ready, right? He's ready now. If I take him out of the equation, matter of fact, doesn't he have my belt that I had? You would want to be him to be saying that. I'm a Sean Porter fan. Love him. But I think that should have came out of Sean Porter's mouth. Not that I might not be ranked by the IBF, and he's not on his immediate plan either. He's thinking Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia, which are great fights. But there's Errol Spence right there in the division, raising hell. Right? And so he should be an opportunity. You should hear people all over the place talking about welterweights at least. Hey, I'll fight him, as an opportunity. But it's the exact opposite. Right? Who had to call him out? A dude to come from 2 divisions lower, Mikey Garcia. Said, I'll get him later in this year. Right? Mike Garcia coming from 135 to 140, beat up Adrian Broner. People act like that fight didn't happen. Right? Then he's going to go down, want to get Linares at 135. He wants to stay close just in case Lomachenko acts froggy. From 130, he wanted to come up to 135. He didn't want to go too far, but he said, shoot, I'll go back up from 135, past 140, come to 147. I'll take on Errol Spence later in this year. Right? And I'm pretty sure he's serious because he's seeing, it's not just us boxing fans that hear the silence of the welterweights. No one. It's not Keith Thurman only. And the welterweights are not really hollering at Errol Spence, and he's right there right now as the man. Imagine if any welterweight beats Errol Spence right now. He's the man. Think about it. Somebody comes in there and beats Errol Spence on points or knocks him out. Doesn't matter how you beat Errol Spence right now. If you can beat Errol Spence, period, right now, you're a welterweight, you would be the man. But ain't nobody asking. So what is that? Is that only Keith Thurman? Keith Thurman will get to him soon. Now, does Keith Thurman beat Errol Spence? That's something to talk about when that fight really does happen. right? Because that's a whole different conversation. But I just don't think Keith Thurman should be getting the flack he's getting. I know he should be getting warnings, like we got your eyes on you. But I don't think he should be getting as far as boycotting him or thinking he's some kind of champion because his last two opponents were basically undefeated. You can't really ask a man to do more than that. But you are a fighter, and in your division, there's a guy raising hell. And most of the time, fighter got to be like, wait, this place ain't big enough for the both of us, right? That's in every division. We try to get unification. So this division is no different. So as far as Keith Thurman goes, dude, see how your shoulder is, but the ERROL SPENCE problem is not going away anytime soon. Dome Sports Talk worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.